If you know what I mean.
You know,
but I mean, actually, like, I think I like it here. Like, people mind their businesses from what I've seen.
So
What's up, my guy?
what's up, Brian?
Yo.
Can you tell us more about yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Brian. I'm a student and a software developer.
Okay, tell me about yourself. How did you get in the industry of software engineering? Tell us everything, like from your first line of code to where you are right now.
Okay. The whole like story of where I started until to this software engineering journey, it was just one day when I was bored in a boarding school back in my middle school when I was finishing up. I think I was like in the third year of middle school, finishing up, going to high school. Then I stumbled upon an HTML book. Then that day, like, something sparked inside me. I just wanted to study computer, get more about computer, because ever since I was a kid, I was a really computer nerd. I loved using computers, playing around with things, opening up radios, phones. So I just got into that. Then everything proceeded as when I went to my high school to study mathematics, physics, and computer science. I stumbled upon a lot of books about algorithms, about C++ programming. So I just started like reading books, not understanding anything. But when my teacher started teaching me, I started getting it, understanding it really, really easily. So yeah, that was how I started. And when I finished high school, I just went into a couple boot camps here and there, applied at Andela, and then got into the whole program. Then I ended up being a software engineer like that. It was a very, very challenging journey though.
Okay, so you studied MPC, I guess, MPC in high school. So you had some computer courses there.
I actually like in computer science, in MPC, it's mathematics, physics, and computer science, as I mentioned above. Computer science, it was literally like just almost all that people in computer science we learned algorithms, we learned C++ programming, we learned operating systems. Every course that you can understand, like, have a hold of, we learned it, but it wasn't deep, and also not many people were able to understand it at that level because it's complicated topics and we were like still kids, so not a lot of in my class understood it. Yeah.
All right, so probably you are the best in your class and explaining everyone.
I don't like to take the crown or anything or like play myself like that, but I used to explain a couple things here and there in my class, assist my tutor, because I was a book nerd. I was reading topics before I learned them, so I just went for it.
Mm-hmm. And after you finish your high school, so probably after you finish your high school, you're not capable of like making a software project, something like that. But how did you come up with working with some companies and doing software engineering stuff?
So like when I was in high school, when I finished, it was really like I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like in my what you call white year, like where you don't do anything. It's just like holidays. It's a whole year of not doing anything. Then I saw like this boot camp which started everything. I actually never wanted to be a web developer because that's what I'm doing now. I always wanted to do game development like system level coding. I always thought like that's what gangsters do. Like web dev is boring or weird or like it's not as high level as I thought. Then I saw that boot camp. I was like, let me join this. I'm doing nothing. Then it started everything. Went there, met some engineers from Andela who were tutoring us. There was an engineer. Then he was like, you should apply to Andela. We think that you have like good understanding of all the background, but I didn't know JavaScript at the time, so I had to study hard to self-teach myself JavaScript. So I applied JavaScript, then went at Andela, which started everything.
So it was just like a boot camp where you just go there, take courses, do some projects.
It was like a 2 weeks boot camp.
2 weeks, only 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks. Then after that, I applied at Andela, and they told me like, hey, you're gonna have you have an exam at this time in a month or something. Then I had to study JavaScript like from scratch, self-teach myself, look it up, read documentations. I say peace to W3 schools, tutorial point, just some on top of my head. They were really helpful at the time. So I just went through there and went on a couple YouTube videos here to some guys who were really good. And I applied like that and got in. And also it was a bit of luck because the exam, it wasn't that hard, but I was able to ace it. I thank God for that. And yeah.
And how was after your high school? So you did some class projects and all that, but probably I think right now you do it professionally. How did you start on that?
So professionally, I think it started with me going to Andela because it sparked something like it was a status thing going to Andela as a developer and being accepted at Andela as a developer. It was a status thing and it triggered some connections, and I also had other connections because back in like senior 6 before like finishing high school, I had this other friend of mine who was also doing web design. So we worked on one project together, and I think that's the first real world project I've worked on. It's Verbal, you can look it up. It was this project and I think it was really interesting. And then when I told him like I got into Andela and everything, he thought it was like a very cool thing. Then he started like pushing me a bit harder, like, hey, look at this up, I think it might be interesting, just look this up. And then like when I was at Andela, we went through courses. Then yeah, I got connections.
And you were able to land your first gig. And
yeah,
if it's not a secret though, can you tell us what you do there and what are those?
I don't think I signed an NDA, but
But
I didn't sign an NDA, so I can just tell everything we did.
Okay.
At Andela, it was quite complicated. It was called the Startup program, where we were like being working. It was kind of an internship slash bootcamp slash work, because we were like simulating a real world project and how like real world software companies work. So like we were doing that, everything from like
Scrum and all those
scratch,
things.
from everything. We started building the project out after like the process. When I got accepted into Startup, we started like setting up everything, going back end, front end, going React, Word, writing APIs and everything. It was like I think it was called Nomad something. I think people at Andela can get it. I think it was called Nomad, Barefoot Nomad. I think, yeah, that's why I got to learn like how Scrum works, how project management, development project management works. Yeah, it was this whole process.
And currently, where are you standing in right now in your software engineering journey?
Right now I'm on to, I think I'll call myself mid to senior developer, because it's been a year since I was working as a senior developer at BAG. I work at BAG as well, building a generation. Cool startup, you should check it out. It's been a year, and I think I don't think of myself as a senior software engineer, because there's still hardships we meet here and there, but yeah, I find myself as mid to senior according to my experience.
And do you write just write code for the front end, back end, everything? Do you deploy it? What do you use, all those things?
I do all of the things.
Wear all the hats. Huh?
You can just call me the IT guy, because I do front end, I do back end, I do database monitoring, I do some security wise things, testing if something may break, I do deployments, I do almost of everything. I do micromanagement of some developers, so yeah.
And what different technology? Because every time there's new technology, how do you deal with it? And in this world, which changes?
Oh, so like I think it's just that like I think there is a saying that not everything that shines is gold. So you got, when like with this exceptional like web development space, like there's always new technologies. You wake up, there's a new JavaScript framework, and if there is no JavaScript framework that week, something is really off. I think everyone who's a JavaScript developer can relate. Like there's always this news, but when you look at it, you see like you attend to learn about like mature technologies that have been around for quite some time. That's when like you're not wasting your time while learning them. Because I think that's why I studied React. I learned React back in 2020, and it was like 7 years since it was developed, And I think, yeah, it's like that. I haven't really learned anything new, another framework, but there's always new updates and new changes. So you gotta keep on like receiving news where you get them. Either it's Google or YouTube, depending on your favorite creators. Yeah.
What's been your biggest challenge, either professionally or when you were still in high school, or like, and also you have to tell us like one bug, like give us an experience of one bug you went through and how did you solve it, like the biggest one, because personally I have like bugs which took me some days, almost a week. And how about you? And how do you deal with it?
I mean, so for me, so like when my biggest challenge, I think as a developer, was burning out. Is like when you overwork yourself, then you lose like all the motivation to do anything. That I think that was the hardest moment of my career, like burning out. And yeah, that was the biggest one. And the biggest bug I've ever faced, it was this Cypress. You know, it was like we're doing some PDF on the back end and we're using like Cypress to generate something. It's technical, but it was like this Cypress bug that took me like 2 days fighting with CSS and fighting with JavaScript, trying to fit like everything on a page. Like page was breaking midway through the text and I was like, why? When yeah, it was like this weird bug, but I ended up fixing it. But it was the thing that happened after that is I fixed it, then it required an update. Then when I tried to tell like the other guys that they have to update the production environment, they end up saying like they don't update production environment that easily. So yeah, it was it was just like, yep. It didn't end up going to production. They ended up like refactoring the whole thing and redoing it, which also hurt me a bit, but yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite life hack you do? Because as far as like I heard, you writing code, you working as a software engineer, you're doing your classes, you're also a full-time student. How do you do all that? And
I mean, I think right now it's actually a challenge doing all of those, doing like studying, then working. I literally like work full time and I also have to study full time. But I think something which helps me is like prioritizing which class I really need to attend, because as I'm doing computer engineering and mechatronics, some classes I will have a lot of notion about them, like programming classes or something. So I just prioritize the one I need to go to. And another thing is, I think, is like working out and trying to get like to know how to track your time, because if you don't track your time, it's really like bad. You end up like spending more time on something than you should have, and that like literally breaks your brain and everything and how you work.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years from now? You will want to stay in this developing the software engineering career? Do you want to go to big tech? You want how do you see yourself?
So I think for me, I don't like the idea of working somewhere for 5 to 10 years. I just think it's bad for your career unless you are like improving and getting
Hopefully
levels.
his current employer doesn't see this. Okay.
I mean, I don't think they expect me to work for them for that long, unless they know what they're gonna do. But so I think something which I've been dreaming about like ever since I started like real world development, software engineering. I've been thinking about like joining Google. Yeah, like big tech.
Googler. I think.
Yeah, I need to be a Googler or something.
Yeah,
Googler with like.
Googler is the first year, I guess. The first year you're Googler, and the second year you become a Googler.
Yeah, officially I think. So I want to like big tech, like FANG. But I don't like all of FANG. I think like I want to do like Google, Microsoft.
Just Google.
Or
Microsoft.
if possible, Apple. If you see this, please hire me. I have an iPhone.
You have a lot of things of.
I have a lot of cables for Mac, so yeah. But yeah, kind of all of those big tech companies.
Custom.
So I really like big tech. I think like you just have like few more challenges. But something which I saw like somewhere, which like was a bit of like really, should I also still go there or something? Was that like some people there, they just work on like literally one button and they work on it for a whole week, and you're
That's a fact.
you're like, what? And for me, I like challenges. I like doing hard things. I think I'm more of a research guy.
It's probably because you're used to working like
On
front end,
startups.
back end, all those
Yeah, I
things.
like the
But now in
challenge.
big companies are working on a button, like we have a team around one button,
button
like
is like-
dogs on the upper.
Yeah.
Some feature no one will ever use.
Yeah, it's like that's the kind of thing.
That's the
So
problem. So you're
I think
different.
in 5 years I might be at Google, but in 10 years I might change up careers and get into something else different. I've been thinking about it, but I don't know. After I get my degree, and maybe after that I will see how.
Oh, you still be young because right now you're like 20, so
I mean, right now, hypothetically, I'm 21 technically, but hypothetically I'm 20. So
it's because you're this year you get 21. So
yeah, this year I'll be
if you're saying
21.
5 years, so probably like you have graduated, you'll be young, very young, and with like 5 years of more than actually you'll be like
8 years, I think.
8 years. So you'll be 25 with 8 years of experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
That's
blessed.
I think senior level is 5 years, right? To be a
Yeah.
senior is like
Yeah,
that's what
I mean,
happens, 5.
depending on how you look at it, senior level, it's 25. Yeah. But
You're really good. You're really good.
no, I mean, I'm not that good. I don't think I'm that.
Congratulations, boy.
Thanks, my guy. But yeah, it's not that crazy. It's just, I just think about it as just being blessed and
blessed,
and lucky. Cause someone who said something very interesting was like, success is 50% hard work, 40%. It's 50% luck, 40% hard work, and 10% being at the right place at the right time, which also combines into luck. So I think it's 60 to 40, because like luck plays a really huge part. If you look at it in the angle of a Christian, is blessings. I think the blessings, but if you look at it in the angle of like someone who don't know anything about blessings, they just think about it as just luck. So yeah, I think about it and I'm really thankful. You can tell how thankful I am. Like, I'm really thankful.
What do you do in your free time?
I mean, in my free time, I like to game. I'm a good FIFA player. I thank God someone taught me finally. I'm not that good, but I'm decent. All right. I do play games, and I really like shooters. I really like playing games, and also these days I'm adopting a new culture of going to the gym, and
For your health.
in these days, like maybe in the summer, I want to do traveling and as well. I want to travel around Europe because, like, bro, I'm new to Europe, first time out of the country, so I mean,
Yeah,
it should
more
be
like
fun.
Spain,
Also,
Paris. All
yeah, I'm from Rwanda, if you never noticed, but yeah, so yeah, that's it. Like, that's most of my free time, and I also sleep a lot. So
Since you moved, how was it? How did it move? Like, you lived with your parents, you lived with your mom, and you came, and right now you live alone with the boys and all that. How is it? How did it change?
it's depressing. The first month was quite depressing.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Why?
I didn't
Why?
accept it at the time. I was like, yeah, it's cool, I'm fine. But like now, when I look back at it, it was actually depressing. Like, it's just a new environment. When you don't know how to adapt easily, it can get very depressing. I remember like kids going from home to high school to boarding school and they cried. But
Bags, yeah.
but now I'm a man, I'm grown up, so there's
Now
no
you're a
such thing
man.
as
Yeah.
crying. You gotta suck it in. And if you're a dude and these girls be telling you, oh, you need to show your emotions, don't. Suck it in, bro.
Oh,
That's how you stay strong.
Now, what
Train
was
yourself.
your culture shock when you moved here? Okay, let me tell you mine. For me,
Yeah.
it was a lot of people smoke here. Back in my country, not many people smoke. I can tell you it. Even if they smoke like in private and all that. But
Yeah.
most countries, like in Europe, you know, everywhere there's even dedicated spaces
Yeah.
to kill your lungs. You know, like you smoke. That's the thing. That was the biggest culture shock for me.
I mean,
How about you?
definitely, I think smoking is one of it. I actually got high on my first day, high of someone smoke. I mean, I'm joking, but literally, like, I was going around, people like smoking quite a lot of nicotine, and my head was actually hurting because, like, I hate smokes, and like when I even smell the smokes, like, my brain just started randomly going off. So yeah, but also something else of a culture shock is how racist people sometimes are, but I don't notice it really. And if you don't really mind it, you won't see it. If you're not looking for it, you won't see it. If you mind your own business. But like, if you go around looking for it, you can notice how like people are racist and everything. But if you don't, like, it's not gonna be a problem. It's just like people will look at you weirdly, as if like, if you're in an African country and you see white people, you see how people stare at each other. Or if you're Rwandan, you see how fellow Rwandans stare at you. So I think you get used to it. But yeah.
It's more like
it's
not like racist. It's just curious. They
it's
just
just
curious.
curiosity.
Like, they
Like,
see in someone who
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like you. They probably see them in movies and all that.
like,
They have some stereotypes in mind, you know.
yeah, you see how the media portrays everyone. You can see like how it's just like it be like that. Some of it is true, not to lie. Some of the stereotypes are true, but some others are not true.
Yeah,
So
okay.
if you know what I mean.
You know,
But actually, like, I think I like it here. Like, people mind their businesses, from what I've seen.
So the other thing there is like in the buses, there are like places you can sit, like there's a spot like for 4 people, like 2 people and 2
Yeah.
people looking to each other. And the thing I realized is sometimes when you're black and you can sit in one place, you can sit in one of those and no one will sit around. Everyone will just stand, you know? They will stand like, they just don't want to sit around you. But if it was like someone else, someone white, they might sit there and everyone can come sit around.
Those are the kind of things I was saying. Like, people, if you look for it, you will notice it. But honestly, for me, I think they're giving me my peace, and I love it. I don't want to sit next to someone I don't know. Like, if you know, like, if you don't have an introverted part in you, I'm not really extroverted. You can see how I'm like, but. If you don't have like that introverted part of like you want to do your thing, nobody want to like come talk to you and something, sometimes it can seem racist, and it really like is not racist. It's just people minding their businesses. Because for me as well, if I see someone white sitting in a place, I'm not gonna go around and sit. It's just not worth it. It's literally like 5 to 10 minutes in a tram or a bus, and going there, it's just it's not. I don't think it's like. I think I just got used to it. Like minding my business, not sitting around a lot. Sometimes you need to even stand. So yeah.
So what if someone wants to come in software engineering, world? They want to get in the developer space and all that. You start to want to write some code and stuff, because most of the people right now they're moving to IT and stuff. Like, what's your advice to them? What can you advise them? Where do you want them to start and all that?
I think something that they might need to consider before like in 2 years ago, I would have said someone just learn how to code. It's gonna be enough. But these days, I think you need to have like a core understanding of programming knowledge, and also I think you need to have like creativity in you and like problem solving, and also you need to be like patient and have like the will to do it, to be hardworking. Because I think if you have like if you have the will first and you have like problem solving, you're always curious. I think curiosity drives the whole tech industry. If you are curious, you have curiosity. If you are curious, if you are like you have the will to learn, welcome to the industry. Because there's a lot of resources online. You can literally do it for free.
Limited. Yeah.
If you want, I can just literally tell you like roadmap.sh.
Oh yeah.
That you guys should come. You should go to that website if you want, because it's like one of the best places to learn. I would have like put it up here, but I don't know if I can.
Put it up on the screen.
Let me put it on the screen here. Like, if you look here, like it's roadmap.sh. If you look here, like there's literally developer roadmaps for everything. If you need to be a database administrator, if you want to be a front end, a back end, DevOps, everything here, it's here. And if you want like best performance, you can see like videos, some help. You can see like everything here, like with this roadmap.sh. It's just it's amazing. You guys should check it out. This website is just really that good, like for roadmaps. And if you know like what you need from here, you can use YouTube, you can use Google, you can even these days ask ChatGPT to help you around, but take it with a grain of salt because it's AI. We don't trust AI. So But yeah, that's it. But please don't come in here like in the industry being, oh, I'm gonna just be coding. Because if you're gonna do coding only, I don't think you can get far enough. Because literally these days you can just ask ChatGPT to generate like some code for you, or you can ask GitHub Copilot to just generate the code for you. If you don't have like the logical analysis of the code, or logical understanding of what you need to do, like, yeah, you might be lost. Yeah, it will be really hard for you to find a job. So yeah, I think that's it.
I think we can wrap it up right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up.
And thank you very much for giving us your time and sharing your life and your everything you do with our community. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my boy. Welcome. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.